What's up, everybody? It's your boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360. Let me know if y'all can hear me real fast. I'm still working out some technical difficulties. Good. It's your boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360 back with another live show for y'all. Listen, I got the super back Shawn Sierra on the show with us today. Joins today. So much to talk about. Bears football going into Lions week 10, I believe it is. Week 10, week 12. I can't keep up, man. Y'all know how we do on the show, man. We're going to try and have as perfect a show as we can. And like Coach Boone says, Shawn, we always got to be
perfect in every aspect of the game. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the football, and I will break my foot off.
What's crazy about all this is I can't even hear it back on the playback. So we're going to try and do the best we can. Listen, y'all know what's next. We're going to cue the intro. Maestro, let's go.
We will be perfect in every aspect of the game. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the football, and I will break my foot off in your John Brown.
Life like chess move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I feel my teeth with diamonds. I'm high as fuck in the sky, you would've thought I'm pilot. I'm from Chicago, it get ugly, fill the streets with violence. Life like chess move to pieces, you know I roll in silence.
Aspect of the game, you drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the football, and I will break my foot off in your John Brown.
Past, present, future. We bear down.
So you know what'll help? You know what'll help, Shawn?
Yeah.
It'll help if I actually plug this high speed, low drag headset I had in. If I would have plugged it up all the way, then I would have heard you. So that's all me.
Well,
Listen,
I'm not a technical guy, but that usually helps. If you want to use headphones, you got to plug them in.
yeah, you got to plug them in. You also have to turn the power on as well, man. Listen, man, thanks for joining the show again for us this year. Last time we had you on was towards the end part of last year, and it feels like some of the same narratives that we're talking about, even at this juncture in the season, are similar to some of the things that we were talking about last year towards the end of the season. We're going to get into it in a little bit. Before we get into it, man, shout out the show. Give the people your ats and all that other stuff where they can catch you on your shows and whatnot, and then we'll get into some football talk.
Yeah, well, listen, guys, you can follow me on Sports Zone Chicago. You can follow Facebook, Instagram, on YouTube. We're at Sports Zone Chicago. On Twitter, we're at Sports Zone Chi, CHI. Now, if you want to follow me personally, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, all one handle at the Shawn Sierra. You see at the bottom of the screen. We also have a mobile app. All right, so if you have a smartphone, I'm kidding, everybody does. You can download the app. Go just look up Sports Zone Chicago. You can download it. It's a free app. You can take us with you on the go and listen to our shows and listen to past shows. We also have a Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download the Sports Zone Chicago channel to your television, and you can watch us live on the big screen. My show that I'm on it's called Shawn and Maya in the Morning on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I'll be on tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. to 11 Central Time. Every Monday, we have Eric Kramer, former Chicago Bears quarterback. Eric Kramer comes on for a Monday morning quarterback, so we can break down Justin Fields and Tyson Bagent for the last 4 games. Man, we're everywhere. We're everywhere. Make sure you check us out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Download our Roku channel if you have a Roku television in the house. It'd be greatly, greatly appreciated.
Man, that's big time. You're doing Roku. You're doing Eric Kramer, man. I'm not worthy, man. I'm just fortunate enough to get in the game early with Shawn. Me and Shawn had our opportunity to talk some football because we both had the opportunity to coach ball at the high school level, and we just hit it off, just being able to talk X's and O's. So I'm gonna jump straight into it. You know what I'm saying? It's a big week for the Bears, leading into a division game versus the Lions. I'm just so happen to be in the building this week, so I'm excited. The day trip to go to Detroit. I want to start with up front, man, because we got Nate Davis coming back, and then obviously, you know what I'm saying, Coach Eberflus announced some shuffling of the offensive line on yesterday. You know, how do you feel about the offensive line, Nate Davis coming back, and how that should shake out?
Well, I wanted Tevin on the right side, but Nate Davis has only played right guard in the NFL. So to ask him to do that, you're weakening one position, right? Tevin Jenkins has already played left guard in the National Football League, and he's still putting people in the first row. Okay, So it doesn't really matter what side here. I like that side because you got two nasty son of guns on that one side. And to me, and let's not get it twisted. Nate's nasty too. Let's not get it twisted. Nate's one of those dudes he'll pancake you and he'll fall on you once, you know what I'm saying? So it's just that we're used to Tevin. We know Tevin from Jump Street, you know, and Nasty Nate we haven't seen him. He's not really our own yet. We're you know, kind of he's growing on us, and he's out with an injury. You know, he missed most of the preseason due to that family situation. So we're like, who is this guy? I think it's going to be okay. This is the way the offensive line was supposed to shake out week 1. Unfortunately, it didn't, with Nate Davis being out with his personal situation, which we found out his mom was sick and passed. Tevin Jenkins with a strained calf. So, man, you know as well as I do, the 2 guards in the center, that's your run game. Right. If you can't have that, if you don't have that locked down, you ain't running the ball. Right. You are not running the ball. So this is the projected lineup from week 1. So I'm excited about it. I would have liked if Nate could have played left guard. I would have liked you to keep Tevin and Darnell Wright on the right side, but I'm more than comfortable with Tevin going back to the left, and Nasty Nate and Darnell Wright on the right side.
Now imagine that. Me and Shawn had to have a conversation about this prior to, right? But again, from 2 coaches' perspective, I said the exact same thing. You know, it's just you like to have you know what I'm saying, reassurance or security on one side, and then when you can establish that you have a dominant side, and then you can figure it out that, and it's not taking anything away from Nate Davis. You know what I'm saying? Had we moved him to left guard, we don't know what it would have been. I don't imagine he would have been, you know what I'm saying, terrible or any worse to Cody Whitehair at that position. But the mentality is, you know what I'm saying, listen, you got 2 guys that's playing together and they're humming, and you go into the game, whether you're running back or you're the quarterback, you like, look, you know what I'm saying, I ain't have to worry about my right side. You know what I'm saying? If I'm getting in trouble, it's going to be to my backside. And the thing that I said on the show on Tuesday, Shawn, was this. You know, it gives you something to work with as well from a Luke standpoint, right? You go into the game plan and saying, all right, listen, I know I got a rookie right tackle, but I'm not going to help as much on that side. I may, you know what I'm saying, help on the left side if I would have had Nate and Braxton over there. I'd put a tight end running back to that side, but I wouldn't necessarily worried about helping to the right side as much. How you feel about that? Because that was my perspective on the schematics about it.
About not helping
on the right side so much. Like if you would have kept Tevin and Darnell Wright to the right side, I would have thought that, you know what I'm saying, I felt a little bit better about not helping as much to the right side as compared to going to the left.
No, I still would keep him. He's still a rookie. Yeah. You know, and most of the time they're not going to be double teaming anyway. I mean, and Darnell Wright's going to be on an island most of the time. He's got the end. All right, it's probably going to be Aiden Hutchinson. It was going to be at least some of the time, if not most of the time. So, and that's a bad boy. All right, let's not get it twisted. Aiden Hutchinson's a bad joker. So, yeah, I definitely think I would definitely shade him to or put a tight end or get a running back to chip on Darnell's side. And no slight to him, but you're just facing one of the young premier pass rushers in the NFL. All right. And there's some people that, you know, when there's no shame in your game to help having somebody chip him and let you get control of him or slow down his momentum or his get off. I mean, and that's pretty much what you got to do. All right. If you stop someone's get off, man, that any pass rusher, that's where they win it in their get off. And, and you stifle them or you chip them or you slow that down or you impede that takeoff, they're not as effective because they don't have the speed. They don't have the power at that particular point. It's just strength. And for those of you who don't know, there's a big difference between strength and power. All right. Strength is when you just bench press. Power is the ability to move people, or is strength while you're moving. And you're not revved up. You're not taking off. You're starting from a dead stop, and he's already engaged. So I'd still keep chipping him on the right side, man. Regardless of who's there. Yeah, still send help to him. Just to make sure.
Yeah, just to reassure. Have it in the plan, right? But I'm thinking not so much as the left side. Had that been the situation. But speaking of this Detroit defensive line of Aiden Hutchinson, we have about 7 weeks to figure out what's going on and what we're going to do with Braxton Jones at the left tackle. Of course, him just coming back off an injury, right? Just getting a chance to, you know what I'm saying, get some reps. I think it was New Orleans and the Carolina game. We got about 7 games to see, get a nice 7 sample size from. You got Aiden Hutchinson, and you got Myles Garrett in a couple of weeks. What do you think? Because the last time I saw tape, from the game, and it was versus Carolina. I thought he did okay, but not enough to warrant not still looking at some of these, these rookie left tackles that's coming out in the draft next draft.
Well, he found the weight room. All right, and that was the consensus. Me, you, anyone else who knows any iota about football just saw last year he was getting bull rushed. All right, you couldn't get by him with a swim or a spin or any kind of or a twist. He's a dancing bear, man, and he was able to latch onto you, and great in the run game as well. I mean, when he's out moving and getting up to the second level, but his biggest issue, his Achilles heel, was the bull rush, and people stopped swimming and moving and spinning and stunting. They're like, let's go right through him because he couldn't
run through with his head.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Just put him down, put your head down, go through him, and you plant him in Justin's lap or his back, really. And this year, I saw him anchor. Now, I'm not putting him in a Pro Bowl or All Pro or Canton by any stretch, but I think he's gotten better. And I think with more and more reps, because he was out for a while, he's going to improve. But to me, Coach T, I still won't stop looking at a tackle, because what's the worst case scenario? You draft Olu from Penn State, you put him there, he's a stud, and now Braxton Jones is your swing tackle.
Right.
It's not a bad swing tackle.
It's not bad swing tackle at all, right? And the guy, I feel comfortable that given that position, he can go from left to right. Real quick, I want to hit on the center position because a lot of conversation about obviously the play of Lucas Patrick and Cody Whitehair. Obviously, Cody Whitehair is the guy. I never really liked him at center because of the style of play that I think this team should play. And we're going to get into style and play a little bit, but the style of ball I think this team should play with, I didn't like Cody Whitehair at center. I preferred Lucas Patrick over him, but still we're finding out that Lucas Patrick still is not the long-term answer. Now, I'm gonna ask you a specific question because I haven't done a whole bunch of draft research on centers in the draft. However, knowing about the position of center and all the responsibility that it takes to play the position, what's your take on us going to get a rookie draft prospect center versus us signing a free agent, knowing that we have money?
Depends. The kid out of Georgia, Van Krop, I want to say is Van something. That kid is a highly touted prospect coming out. If you can get a veteran, all right, who fits this scheme, you can either trade for him or if he's a free agent, I'm in. But still, I wouldn't stop. Again, still draft one. You may be able to draft a center in the third or fourth round, as opposed to second or third round. All right, because if you don't get a free agent center, you're gonna have to. I say get one because of the fact that I don't think Lucas Patrick is a long-term answer either. So you're gonna need a capable center to back him up. And the NFL stands for not for long, and that's literally one play. Right. Boom, you're out. Someone rolls up on his leg, his knee, his ankle. He's out for X amount, rest of the season, 4, 6, whatever. And now you got to put Cody Whitehair back in there. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with Cody Whitehair at all. All right, it's a shame that we lost Doug Kramer. All right, he was on the practice squad and he got scooped up. All right, and I really wanted to see how he would fare, but he got scooped up, and that's the danger you have of putting someone or trying to hide someone on the practice squad. Right, and obviously. Oh shoot! I forgot who. Do you remember? I don't remember who scooped him up. I want to say Atlanta, but I'm not positive.
It might have been L.A. Somebody I know one of my chat experts knows it in the chat. They'll let us know.
Yeah. Let us know, guys. And seeing that would have been perfect. It would have been perfect to have him. Now you drafted him, a kid from Illinois. All right, but
you groomed him through your system, right?
Yeah.
You brought him up through your system, so he knows the calls. And that boils down to my concern about drafting centers, because here it is, a guy you groomed through your system. He knows the call. He has a rapport in that offensive line room. You know the nature of offensive linemen. You just don't come in there as a rookie in a group of alphas and just like all of a sudden they just hand over respect to you. And that's part of my take on why I think we if it's something like you said, somebody that fits the scheme that's out there and he's not overpriced, you go out there and get you a free agent that can come in and command the room and be the quarterback of that offensive line room day one, having lost somebody that you were grooming, right? But we know how kind of quirky offensive linemen are, man. It's like a little, fire team within every team. They have their own little,
Fraternity, a fraternity and a
yeah, their own little
fraternity.
fraternity within the team, and
Yeah.
you just don't come out and like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, as a rookie and like, hey, I'm telling everybody what to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to earn it, right? I know I got to keep in mind how long I have you because I so many things I want to ask you. So I'm gonna skip a few
Oh,
position.
you got me for at least I got an hour. I got an
Okay,
hour.
cool.
We're straight. We're
All
straight.
right, cool. But I don't want to miss out on anything. So real fast. Let's jump. I'm gonna take a huge leap from the offensive line. I'll tell you what. I'll do offensive line. We did offensive line. I'll do running backs, and we're gonna get into the quarterback talk. Now, you know what I'm saying. Your boy Khalil Herbert's been out. Of course, Roshan Johnson missing time with the concussion. He just made it back. Khalil Herbert's working his way back, and then your boy Deontay Foreman, who has been on the practice squad, got inserted in. He's been running like crazy. And throughout the season, going back to last season, even our running backs has averaged over 4 yards, some over 5 yards per carry. What do you think, Luke is kind of facing going into, this more healthier Bears offense now and having to make the decision on how he's going to play or who's he going to play between those running backs in the running back room? Because after all, you are the super back. So you know a little bit about these things.
Ain't no confusion at all. Deontay Foreman's my starter. All right. And I like Khalil Herbert, but he's out. We don't even know if he's going to play. Even healthy, he should be the starter. We've seen his style of run or the way he runs. He fits the system perfectly, whether you want his outside zone, whether you want a downhill power game. Either way, he's good. He's real good. All right. I'm a big fan of Deontay Foreman. I say you resign for another 2 years. All right.
Wow.
He may want a longer contract. Okay, but you're a running back. You better resign for 2 years, front load it with,
Incentive.
most of the money up front or a big signing bonus. But now you got him, Herbert, and Roshan Johnson, because you're asking Roshan Johnson to do a lot as a rookie, which he could do, but he just hasn't had the time.
Right.
So let him develop, bring him along. Bring him along slowly. All right. The one thing he can do, I'll tell you that, is he can pass pro. That's for damn sure. That dude can pass pro like
He's
a son of a gun, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that alone can get him on the field. But you got Deontay Foreman, who's a 3-down back.
Right.
He's a 3-down back, and that's the one thing. And I love him because that was my game. Like I never wanted to come off the field. So if I didn't want to come off the field, I had to learn how to pass block, and I did. I was fortunate in high school, college, and when I played pro, I was able to pass block. So right. I love Deontay. There should be no competition or quarterback or running back controversy. There should be none. It's Deontay Foreman gets the bulk of it, and then Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert fight for the scraps.
Now I know this your wheelhouse, but let's have a little bit of debate on this, right?
Let's do it.
I'm with you. I'm with you on Deontay stays in, but I'm in there for a different reason. I'm on there for a different reason. I'm putting Deontay at running back 1 because I feel like Deontay forces Luke Getsy to play a certain style of offense that's both complementary to the quarterback and the defense that we have. So the play style fits the team, right? With Deontay in there, we're running more, we're running downhill, right? Ball control. We're keeping that defense off the field. But I believe the reason why he wasn't on the field probably before is Khalil, who's improved tremendously in pass pro, and Roshan was probably beating him out in that area, which I don't have a problem with. I still start him if it fits the whole team better, right? It makes the way we have to win better. So the only part I'm pushing back on, Sean, is a 3-down back situation. Like if we're trying to have him back there in 11 personnel, gun, and you know what I'm saying, he's your solo blocker. I'm saying you coming off the field, bro. We going with Roshan in that situation. What's your take? What's your feeling about that? What have you seen?
Roshan Johnson hasn't had enough impact for me yet. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he won't.
Right.
I'm saying he hasn't.
Yeah.
Right. From watching him in college, he looks like he can be that dude.
Right.
Here, it hasn't transferred yet. And I don't know whether it's a lack of confidence. I don't know if he's trying too hard, because don't forget that's another thing. When you try too hard, instead of letting the game come to you and get in where you fit in, you try and force a situation. And sometimes, especially if you're not sometimes that's the worst thing to do, is to force a situation. All right. I hope he gets comfortable and I like his runs. And for some reason, he just doesn't seem to be he's not breaking as many tackles. He's not punishing as many people as like a Deontay Foreman.
Right.
So to me, like that's Southside, man, Southside Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like we're coming downhill. So you're going to tackle me? No problem. You're going to feel it. All right. And then all of a sudden, the second, third quarter, fourth quarter, those tackles become little like I'm diving at your knees, diving at your ankles. You know, he brings the pain, and I like that about him. So, yeah, I just think here's my question though, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the days where a guy carries the ball 20 times? Why can't he? Why can't he carry the ball 25 times, 20 times, and then give the other two backs 10 carries each?
Right.
So now you're looking at 40. Now you're looking at 40 carries, and I'll tell you this. You run the ball 35 to 40 times with Justin, Bears win, hands down.
Right.
35 to 45.
Listen, you preaching to the choir on this subject. Listen, I'm gonna tell the chat already. Listen, yeah, y'all definitely want to like, share, and subscribe because me and Shawn have a different level of conversation where we talk about ball because now you have two coaches' perspective on the show. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, right? Twitter, I don't know if Shawn didn't catch this. I caught it on Twitter X, right? Where Twitter land did the if you had to hire Bears DIY media folks as Bears coaching staff, you know what I'm saying? Who would you hire? A lot of people made me head coach. I actually made Shawn head coach, and I took OC. You had a problem with that, Shawn? Like, were you okay with that? You're okay with me? You're okay with that doing that, right?
I am more than okay. I didn't see it. Someone told me, I was like, what? Get out of here.
I said, listen, give me Shawn Sierra as my head coach. I'll be OC because I like to get my hands dirty and get in there and mix it up. But yeah, no, I think, you made a great point, right? It's about, for me, because a lot of conversation, a lot of it gets lost on, you know what I'm saying? We hear Flus throws thing out like complimentary football. And one of the things I did was take the chat in the description and making them understand or helping them understand what that meant. They have to, you preaching to the choir. I love to hand the ball to a back 25, 30 plus times a game between the two backs, like play ball control style, you know what I'm saying? Straight up play action, boot play actions. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big fan of the waggles, but stay out of empty and 11 personnel guns. Stay in 12 plus personnel sets, 12, 13, 22, 21 personnel. I don't know if you saw the graphic, Shawn, that I shared, but there was a graphic that was shared that I used on a Barroom Network and on my show that showed our first 3 games of the season. We did we were amongst the league's leader in heavy 11 personnel. And it wasn't until we got to Denver when we started going more 12 plus personnel. And Washington was the best game. We put up 40 points where we went a lot of 12 plus personnel, 12, 13, 22, 21. So I like that style of play for this team. And I just think Deontay complements it a little bit better. And I trust Luke with Deontay in the game. I don't trust Luke with Khalil in the game because I think he's going to try and get Green Bay style and start trying to sling the ball over the yards. It's just what I've seen on film. I don't trust the guy. And I always feel like this. This is old school, I know, but you got your hammer, you got your guy that's going to hammer him, and then you got your guy that's your change up back that you can come in and he can be that quick pitch guy and hit your home run for you. But that's my kind of take on the running back situation. But let's jump straight into it because you know what everybody want to talk about. Everybody wants to talk about Justin coming back in these next 7 weeks being make or break weeks for Justin Fields to help determine his future. Is he the guy in Chicago? He's going to carry the franchise forward to be the face of the franchise moving forward at the quarterback position. I'm grateful to have him off of injured reserves. I'm being back off of injury. Shawn, how do you feel about going into Detroit? What are you expecting, in this Detroit game with Justin coming back off injury, that thumb injury?
Detroit's a good team. Detroit's a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny how people were laughing a couple of years ago when he came in talking about we're biting kneecaps and all this other stuff. And they're like, oh, this guy's a meathead. But the thing about it is if you don't know, if you're not privy to that fraternity, like you understand what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You feel him. Like you and I felt him and like, okay, this guy might have something here. All right. And more importantly, me and you feel him. The players felt it.
Yeah.
All right. He has this mentality that he's a former player. You see him getting fired up. You see him getting the emotion and the passion that he has. All right. And players can tell when you're real. Players can tell when you're authentic. And they know he's an authentic guy. And that's who you want to play for. That's who you want coaching you. Somebody who's authentic. So you don't want anyone who's going to blow smoke up your tail because of whatever reason, because of your draft status. No, you want the real. Whether you like it or not, you want the truth. And Dan Campbell does not believe in sugarcoating a God blessed thing to his teammates, to his players. And as men and as football being the alpha sport that it is, that's how we want it. Whether we like it or not, we'll take it. Just don't lie to us. And these guys have run through a brick wall. So I'm excited that Justin's coming back, because now Justin, and he said it yesterday, and I said it on my show the other day before Justin came on. Oh, believe me, Justin knows what's going on. Justin knows what people are saying. Like some athletes say they might be stay off of social media during the season. Yeah, but your family doesn't. Your friends aren't.
Your cousins ain't.
Your cousins ain't. So they know exactly what's saying. And believe you me, they let you know what's being said.
Right.
So I think Justin, being the ultimate competitor, wants to go out and put all this Bajan. I know people now realize that Bajan isn't better than Justin Fields.
Right.
I think he wants to come out and show, like, look, here's what you missed. Because I think the New Orleans game, we win if Justin's there. I think we win a couple games if the 2 games we lost. I think we could have won those had Justin played. Right. Obviously, it's just speculation, but he just offers more. So now I hope and I anticipate Justin coming out and saying, look, I'm the real, showing people I'm the real deal. It's got to come a point in time where you're tired. Like, I can't stand some of the media. I can't stand, let's go. We got to get Caleb Williams. Who's to say Caleb Williams isn't going to be a bust?
Right.
Man, I'm telling you, I got turned on. There was something about Caleb Williams. Now, mind you, I have a connection to Caleb Williams. One of my running back buddies, one of my guys in college, we were in the same running back room, was his high school coach.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, snap. He sent me a picture last year and everything from New York when they won the Heisman, the whole nine. There's something about him, man. There's something about him that doesn't sit well with me. Yeah. And I can't put my finger on it. And then when he goes in the stands last week and is crying with his mama, I lost it there.
Why y'all mad at that?
And I'm not mad because you have emotion. I am not mad at all.
No.
Passion? No. I have no. I love that. But you're the leader of this team.
Right.
You're the leader of this team. You celebrate when you win, don't you, with them?
Right.
Then you're right there when they need you as a leader, not with mommy.
Right. Yeah.
Not with mommy.
I like how you put that, not with mommy, but I would take a step back. Because I got my guy Don Burr in the chat, and it's Detroit week, so I got to give Don Burr some love. Don Burr, the resident Detroit fan that hangs out with us Bears fans all the time. But again, I'm gonna be there on Sunday. Listen, man, I love Dan Campbell, bro. I'm a Dan Campbell fan. You know what I'm saying? I love Dan Campbell. I love the whole passion. I love the mentality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is funny. Come out and bite your kneecaps off. But again, it translates. I knew what he was saying. You know what he was saying. Everybody, like you said, everybody in that locker room knows what he's saying. But it instills a mentality that we're going to come in and we're going to play with grit, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at, and I'm going to be critical real fast of our coaching staff, it's a little bit different, man. It's a little bit hipster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's a little bit.
That's a great call.
Yeah, it's a little hipster. It's a little hipster. It's a little bit new wave.
Craft beer.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit craft beer, it's a little bit man bunch, you know what I'm saying? Go call it what it is, you know what I'm saying? And we know you can't play football that way. And again, it goes back to style of play, because your personality as a coach is going to come out in how you call plays, it's going to come out in your players. When I say run Deontay Foreman, play power football, gap style football, pulling guards, pulling tackles, let's go downhill and go nose, I ain't going to front on it, man. Detroit actually plays. That's why, you know what I'm saying, we ain't going nowhere. That's why I'm rocking with them. You know what I'm saying? Through if they, whatever they do this season, I don't know if I'm freezing up what's going on, but whatever they do this season, I'm rocking with them throughout this thing, man. We got a little bit of delay there, but we back. But I'm rocking with them because I like the style of play. And again, I don't mind that being in our division, because guess what? We're going to have to face it. We're going to have to beat it. We're going to have to draft to beat it, all that other stuff. So I'm rocking with it. I'm glad to be in the building. But also what you said about not just Justin going against Detroit this week. Listen, here is now the division leader. You're going into Detroit. You got all this noise, right? Locally, and I did a survey today on X Twitter, right? How many anti-Justin fans is that really amongst our fan base, right? And I think it was coming out to be around 30, 40 percentile, right? It's not quite, I don't think it's quite split down the middle, but you know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of noise over the last 4 weeks. And it's to me, it's not, when you know football, it's not warranted, right? If you're a casual fan that just paying attention to you watching WGN, they lost today. Oh, okay, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or you just pay attention to driving by the billboards, right? And you see them on a Dunkin' billboard. That's not what I'm talking about. For us that pay attention to the game, you're like, hold on a second, man. Injuries up front, running back injuries, too many moving parts around you. And the OC is trying to figure it out. Like, he's learning on the job. And I'm seeing obvious mistakes that he's making. Like, but even with all that, like Justin having a real, because he said it when he dropped dime on Luke in the press conference, him really having a real, you know what I'm saying, fuck it moment and saying, look, man, all right, y'all done pissed me off now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm putting it on the line for y'all. I'm putting my body on the line for y'all, fan base, whoever, the media, whoever. I'm getting that dog in me, and I got to go out there and I got to overcome the OC at this point because I'm tired of the rhetoric. I'm tired of the noise. I'm tired of the tropes, right? I'm tired of everything. And whatever we got to do, we got to do. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. Now, if we play a certain style in Detroit, y'all going to think I'm crazy, but I'm saying already, if we go in there and play a certain style of ball, complimentary, run the ball, take play action shots, control the clock, I think it's our type of game. If we try to play like Detroit tried to play LA last week and it's 40, you know what I'm saying, 40-41 or whatever that score was, then we're going to get blown out the stadium. It's going to be a long trip home. But I feel like if we go in and play our style of ball, which ironically is a little bit their style of ball, but you know what I'm saying? I think we could probably pull out an upset. I might just be fanboying at this one, but I don't know. I don't know.
No, you're right with the thing is time of possession. You want to keep that defense on. The thing that the Detroit defense I'm talking about, the thing that worries me is that we don't have. And I asked Coach Eberflus in the locker room 2 home games ago, like when they won, I'm like, well, what's your identity? Is this your identity? I think it was the Raiders they beat. Like, you ran the ball. Like, is this your identity? He's like, well, it changes from game to game and this and this. And I'm like, I'm trying to give you an oop here. Like,
yeah.
You know what?
I'm trying to throw you a hoop there. Like, what are we doing?
Dog. I'm trying to let you know from one coach to another, man. Like, this is what you need to do. The first game they ran the ball 35 times with Tyson Bagent under center. I just told you run that ball 35 times with Justin Fields, we win hands down. Right, because he'll be able to pick you apart because you know as well as I do, there's a different takeoff from a defensive lineman when he has to stop the run or when he's going to get the quarterback. There's a completely different takeoff. Right. All right. And if you gotta stop play action because they're punching you in the mouth repeatedly, your first step is you engage and you got to find that running back as opposed to I'm trying to get passes to the quarterback.
Yeah, I'm just teeing it off. Right. Yeah.
So we run the ball, but Detroit, same thing. They like to run the ball too. And they got our old battering ram, David Montgomery. And many of you may have seen on social media the Detroit line, Detroit, they have their own PR people and through their website, they're like, who would you want to play? And he picked up Chicago, had the Chicago C's like, oh man, he really wants to play us. Understandable.
No. Yeah.
Okay. So they want to feed him. We want to feed our running backs. It's whose ground game gets
who's gonna get off. It's which one of these running backs go. That's really what I feel like the game is gonna come down to. It's gonna come down to the line of scrimmage. And I know it sounds a little bit cliche-ish. It sounds like football talk, but it's really about which offensive line gets off first and which one of those defensive lines can get their defense off the field through the run game, right? Now, the pass game, if we can get the third down through the run game, then it's stealing from there because I don't feel like Detroit's defensive backfield, whether it's the DBs or the actual coaching itself, it seems like for whatever reason over the last few years, that defensive backfield they just can't seem to get it together. So I think there's opportunities, but again, it goes back to Luke's mentality to me. do you look at the film and go, oh my God, we finna eat, so I'm finna go heavy, empty personnel, 11 personnel, spread the ball out and try to get stupid. Like you know that's a real possibility for Luke. Like that's within his wheelhouse to do something crazy like that. And I feel like if he does that, bro, it's going we will literally get blown out.
Yeah, he's got to be disciplined. You know, the way Ryan Poles is disciplined in his drafting, in his signing of free agents, in his offering to free agents. All right. Getsy has to stay disciplined in the game plan. And that game plan has to be run. Let Justin pick him, hit him later in the game, or hit him on a 3rd and 2, hit him on a short, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4. That is heaven. Because now you got a whole playbook at your disposal. Detroit has no idea what you're going to do. We got to stay ahead of the sticks. We've got to make sure that, Justin is comfortable. And the one thing that you always want to say, Justin, run. All right. Yeah. If you might have to have a beautiful pass to get a first down, 20 yards downfield, or you can run.
Right.
Run. And that's the one thing that they took away from him. And you can't ask him to stop doing what he did. Right. He ran well last year. Now you can say, hey, I need you to cut back on it. Okay, cool. But don't ask him to win from the pocket. You ask him, I want you to run, but I need you to win. I need you to stay in the pocket a little longer, just a little longer. It can't be a complete 180. It's got to transition. And if you said, hey, I want you to run just a little bit less, that's a whole different thing than saying, I need you to win from the pocket, because that's telling me don't run. Right. And you don't just take away one of the most explosive weapons that the NFL has seen, and because you want him to win from the pocket. If this is how you're going to win, then you're going to win this way.
I don't think the fan base gets that enough, right? They don't recall or go back to last year. And this is part of the conversation that drives me a little bit nuts, and I get irritated with it, because it's like, win from the pocket, the standard of quarterback play. The only reference that we have for quarterback play is the Aaron Rodgerses, the Tom Brady's, right? And fans that don't keep up with high school ball, college ball, they don't understand that the game is evolving through the RPO game. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these kids coming out, whether they black or white or whatever, they're coming up in a dual quarterback system.
Yep.
And like I mentioned on the last show, right? If the iPhone 15 is coming out, you don't go by the you know what I'm saying? The iPhone 15 coming out and it costs the same as the iPhone 10, right? And you've never had an iPhone before. You don't go buy the iPhone 10 just because you never had one before. You go get the 15. And that's what I think a lot of Bears fans, we never had a quarterback before. So we default to traditional pocket quarterback as a stereotype. We're behind the game because we haven't seen one before. No, go call plays with the 15. Let them run, let them pass, and then we need some winning routes. I did the breakdown of the New Orleans game, the last quarter, with Tyson Bagent in the game, right? First of all, 2 weeks in a row, I called it in the scouting report pregame exactly where he was going to throw the ball to for interceptions. In the flat, right flat, in empty coverage. Every time was an interception. The same formation we complained about Justin not throwing out of versus Minnesota, but I'm gonna let that ride. But the routes in that fourth quarter won less than 50% of the time versus New Orleans in the fourth quarter where Luke was dialing up. Less than 50% of the times did he win, the route concepts win versus the coverage. And then none of those times was it the first or second read. That's an indictment on the route concepts that you're calling. So if you want somebody to play for pocket, I'm expecting at least your first or second, at least your third read to be running open at some point. Like that part of it, it never registers for me. I don't know if you have a perspective on that part of it, but I'll let you get as I get into these comments for a minute.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't like the fact that they didn't let him push it down the field. All right. Yeah. And people talk about the picks. Well, that came the last game. But if you all you did was keep throwing to the flat, check off. And the thing that and this is why I can't argue with some Bear fans, because they're just not equipped well enough. Like, well, his completion is this. He gets rid of the ball in this. He doesn't take sacks. And I tell people, okay, he got rid of the ball in 1.5 seconds, but he threw it at the line of
scrimmage to the other team,
or he threw it. It's a check down, or it's a 2-yard route. I'm like, I mean, are you gonna win throwing 2-yard routes? No, I don't care who you're playing. You don't throw 2-yard routes. You win, you got to push it down the field.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is that he didn't take sacks because he got rid of the ball so quick to the flat. Then all they did was Khalil Mack in the Charger game. They dropped him to the flat, and now he's like, oh shit, oh no, there's somebody there. What do I do?
I called that play in the pregame. I said, watch. I drew it up on the show. I drew it up in my playbook. I said, listen, if I'm playing 3-4, the way I'm attacking this kid is off of this 3-4. If I'm taking one of these outside linebackers and I'm playing cover 3 and I'm dropping to the flat, or I'm playing cover 2 zone, and that's exactly what they did. And he threw the ball right to him. And I keep saying this. It's not an indictment on the kid. It's the indictment on the position they put him in. So I'm like, okay, either way, whatever quarterback we have in the game, they're having to overcome this kid or overcoming the offensive coordinator. And so part of my take is this. We're going to shift real fast and do a little segment real fast and get to the. But my biggest concern with this team is the offensive coordinator and his level of experience and having not chosen an identity and a style of play. I think he's done better since Tyson has been there. But again, does he flip the switch because you have Khalil, because you have Justin, all of a sudden you get happy and say, oh, I'm just going to try and light up the NFL.
Throw
like
what 50 times.
Like, are you, is it just me? That's what I'm saying.
No, and then I have the same concern, man. I have the same concern. Now you got your brand new toy back. You're like, okay, let's throw the ball. No. I told you, and if anything, you run the ball more. You run the ball because what? Because you keep running the ball, then big plays are going to come. Big plays are going to come because if you keep running the ball, you have to, and we're getting 4 or 5 yards a pop. Man, you're going to have to stop that run. You know the old saying, you have to earn the right to rush the passer.
Right.
And if you can't stop that run, then something's gonna happen. You gotta have some run blitzes, you gotta have some, that means you're gonna have DJ Moore might have some single coverage. You might have to go man a little bit because you want to bring pressure because you can't stop the run. And we know Justin does well in man versus man. So this is the game plan has to be run the ball. It's tough. I know it sounds simple, but that's it. Run the ball. Establish the run, and believe me, everything else will come off it. Justin Fields will come off. We'll be able to hit throws in the second and third level, and intermediate and deep. Justin Fields will be able to run the ball. I mean, man, and give me some quarterback runs. Give me some quarterback runs. Give me Justin faking on the RPO. Give me a tight end coming across the middle as coming across his right side, right to left as his lead blocker, and he pulls it, takes it off left side. Give me something.
Yeah.
One of my biggest issues is his lack of creativity. For Justin,
I like the powers. I like the zone reads with Justin because again, that's something you have to prepare for, especially in the red zone.
He's 6'3", 225.
Yeah, especially inside the 10, 15 yard line, because you have to account for the quarterback running, right? You get inside the 15 yard line, employ those zone reads, employ the RPOs. It gives the defense something else to prepare for. Right. And it again is coaching to the strength of your football team. I'm not going to stop to go through the comment sections. I'm just keep it rolling. But I do want to do multitasking here and flip over to the defense side and start with the defensive line. We got the high price free agent signing Montez Sweat, who came in last week, albeit versus Carolina Panthers, and affected the pass rush. He didn't get there, but we got 3 sacks for the first time in God knows when versus Carolina. What do you think about this defensive line moving forward in their trajectory? I like where the defense is going and how they're trending, but let's start with the defensive line.
I like it. I like it. All right. You got the Montez Sweat, and he got 7, 8 pressures last week. Perfect. All right. And you said he didn't get there, but guess who got there? Justin Jones got there. Excuse me. Yannick Ngakoue got there. Another person got there. So he's a multiplier because you have to take care of him, because if you don't, he'll get to the quarterback himself.
Going on.
I see Don Bird talking about Justin can't read defenses, man. I hope you're being sarcastic, because there are plenty of times Justin has held or moved linebackers or safeties and to find the open man. So the defensive line with Gervon Dexter, Zach Pickens, they're getting better. And the biggest, I think the best free agent signing, my guy Nomad, we were talking about the other day. He was on my show yesterday. He's like, Billings might have been the best free agent signing that they had. And man, they locked his ass up quick. They didn't even get to half the season, and they extended him. They didn't even get through half the season.
Right.
Like, no. We need to keep this guy here because of what he meant, because he collapses the pocket from the inside. Quarterbacks hate that they can't step up. Quarterbacks hate that they can't follow through because the thought of the chance of breaking a finger on a helmet, all right, because, or you know what I mean? All these things quarterbacks think about. So when you got a guy who collapses the pocket a la Tommy Harris back in the 06 season for the Bears, that is priceless, which is exactly why the Bears extended Billings. Now you got Montez Sweat, and then you saw last week, we saw Yannick Ngakoue with a sack, all of a sudden, and then Justin Jones. So wait a minute. So now you got guys in the middle getting sacks, and Justin Jones, you got the other defensive end getting sacks. Come on, man. This front seven is getting much, much better, and I can't wait to see. And now he's going to have a whole week. All right. Montez Sweat has a whole week of practice. He can exhale. But what? Because he came in, it was like two hours later, we got to go on a flight. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm exaggerating for effect. But he had a couple days before they were playing. Then they had a short week. Now he had 10 days. Get relaxed, find out where you're going to live, put your head down, get in rhythm, exhale. I want to see what he does this week, man. I really want to see what this front seven or the D line is really trending upward. And I like exactly where they're going.
It's opportunity, right? This week is opportunity to take a big step forward, right? Versus, again, big rival division opponent. You know what I'm saying? Division leader, right? It's an opportunity to make a statement right here. And it all hinges upon you guys, right? The rotation that we have, Sweat, Billings, Jones, Ngakoue, Walker, like, you know, the young guys, the young guns, Dexter and Pickens coming off the bench. Like, here's an opportunity to make a statement. I really expect, I'm hoping this will be a violent game. I know Don Bird's kind of laughing in the chat. Everybody's talking about us getting physical with the most physical team in the league. But again, this takes to the whole NFC, where we got NFC Central, black and blue division. How it used to be, right? So why not? Let's mix it up. Let's have a whole backyard brawl and mix it up. Let's have a whole classic street fight. You know what I'm saying? Now, y'all fans, chill out. Don't be fighting the fans, because you know what I'm saying. I don't, you know what I'm saying. I don't need to catch a case. But anyway, listen, I like it, and they have to make a statement in this game up front. They have to decide that they're going to shut down and create that funnel and funnel the running backs into the linebackers. Jack Sanborn. I don't know if Tremaine Edmonds is going to be back. And we'll have TJ's been doing this thing so far this year, over 110 tackles. So you know he's going to show up and play. But let's get into the defensive secondary a little bit, because that's where I start getting a little bit concerned. Not that they don't play hard, but we got a rookie corner in Tyreek Evans. Is it? I don't know, Mike. I'm having Stevenson. I'm having an old man moment right there. Tyreek Stevenson, and then we got your boy Spider Gordon in the slots, which I think Gordon is kind of playing out of position to me. I don't like his frame for what he's doing. I like how he plays, but I get concerned that he's gonna get broke up down there in the box a little bit. But what's your take on the defensive backfield? And I'm gonna try and get you up out of here.
Secondary, I like it. I still think it's our strength. We still have some issues though. You know, Jaquan Brisker is a concussion or sore shoulder, broken shoulder waiting to happen. Eddie Jackson's a plantar fasciitis thing waiting to happen. But I like the cornerbacks. I like Jaden Johnson. All right, you got a tough game. All right, they got a couple of nice receivers. Amon Ross St. Brown being the biggest one. He's a bad dude, and they move him all over the place. And since Jaden doesn't travel, you know, Kyler Gordon's going to have him sometimes. Tyreek Stevenson's going to have, and they're going to pick on Tyreek Stevenson because he's the most picked on corner in the NFL, which I get. So you talk about an opportunity, you talk about making a statement. Well, here it is. You go into the house, to the backyard of the division leaders. Here's your chance. Here is your chance to say, hold on, not so fast. We ain't dead yet. And you have to look at it. I hope they look at it as the opportunity, because it should be a street fight. It should be a knockdown, drag them out fight, because Detroit fans don't even know they don't know how to act, dude. The last time they won a playoff game, most of their fans weren't even born. right? Back with
Right.
Barry Sanders. and,
We talk about you, Don Burr.
yeah, and Eric Kramer. Okay, like
Right.
come on, man. That's the last time they won a playoff game. Was that the last time they were in the playoffs? Might have been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
From a psychological standpoint, here's the real opportunity. Because listen, hold on a second. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I appreciate what Detroit has done. I appreciate what they're doing and the trajectory they're on. But hold on a second. They're still climbing. They haven't won anything yet. You still haven't won a division.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You still haven't won a conference title game. It's an opportunity to not let them get too far off. We don't want them let them come, go off like Green Bay and have a run. Like, you got to attack now. But going back to the defensive backfield, you know what I'm saying? You're right. I think Tyreek Stevens is always going to get picked on being a rookie, right? He has to earn his stripes. But Tyreek has an opportunity to take his shots when he gets them. What I mean, in the run game, when they try to come off edge or off tackle or try to go toss sweep or they try to go screen, they try to bring anything to him in the run game. He has an opportunity to make his presence felt. I don't know that I've seen a more physical cornerback that come in the league than Tyreek Stevenson has for a while. And you know how the style we play ball, that when we put the nickel package out there, you know what I'm saying, both Brisker and Gordon is going to be down in a box. How do you feel about once we push those guys down in the box, Jared Goff's ability to play over their heads or play in the pass games if we can make them one-dimensional?
Jared Goff's been playing well. But this is where the synergy, this is where the team comes in. Here's where that pass rush comes in. Detroit has done a great job, and you got to give credit. I got mad respect for what they've done. They built the trenches. They have some good tackles. Okay.
Right.
So you talk about, and we go back to the opportunity. Here's the opportunity, because now what's going to happen is you knock that smug ass, the pain in the ass smirk off their face, all right, by whooping their ass and let you know, hey, we see you again in 2 weeks. All right. So you think you're ready. Okay. But also it allows them to know that they're human. There's somebody else in the division who got them. All right. Because once you start playing with a confidence that you can't be beat, a lot of times the game's won before you even step on the field. And if you knock these guys down, and right now they don't know how to act. Their fans don't know how to act. They don't know how to act. Campbell's the only one who's trying to keep them calm, because he knows these young kids, you win 2 games like we're world beaters, we're Super Bowl champions. Like, nah, homie, you're not. All right? Until you hoist that trophy, you ain't Super Bowl champions. What you've done is nice, but it's still, you ain't made the playoffs. You haven't won a playoff game since '93. Okay, so slow your roll. You're having a good season. We got to see it play out. And they're this is ripe. They are ripe for an upset.
Yeah, they're ripe for the plucking.
The Bears. Oh, they think the Bears are terrible. Oh, and someone wrote, oh, Justin Fields is he's helping out. The Detroit Lions secondary is happy because Justin Fields is back. Now, Justin Fields ran through you mugs last year. He ran through you. If you don't, ran through you, ran by you. So I don't know how happy you should be.
Not only are they ripe for the plucking, but here's the thing. Again, you haven't solidified anything yet. And I said this on Tuesday shows. This is one of those games, and you've been in these type of games before, Shawn, right? Just like Detroit, when they beat Green Bay last year, it wasn't so much about winning the division. It was about sending a message, right? Mm-hmm. And you know how becoming a winning team goes. You don't necessarily get the victory, but sometimes you walk out of the game knowing that we beat their ass, right? If we can even have one of those type of games where even if we lose, we walk away from the game knowing that we physically beat them down. And if we would have made a play here and there, that sets up the next game, because like you said, planting a seed in their mind and making them not want to play the next game is just as much a part of learning how to win as actually going out and winning the game. And this is, for me, like I said, when we're not playing Detroit, I like Detroit. But it's like, you know what I'm saying, slap boxing your little brother. You know what I'm saying? We got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to give them that smoke. So we going to deep toilet this year, a deep toilet on Sunday, and we go tailgate. And you know what I'm saying? And I don't drink no beer, but we going to make it a good time, and we going to have a good time. Listen, man, this is my guy, the superback, Shawn Sierra, hanging out with me from Chicago Sports Zones, man. I always appreciate having you on, Shawn, man. We got to get together and do this at least one more time before the season lets out, man. Again, let the people know where they can follow you. I see a little bit glitching going on, but we right at an hour. I want to get you out of here, man.
Man, listen, I'm just a phone call, a text away, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm more than happy to come on your show. And if you can make it on mine, please. You know,
Absolutely.
We're all we got. You know what I mean? And we got to do it for each other and keep each other and stay strong, support each other as opposed to being divisive. Because in this business, it's really cutthroat and backstabbing in this business, as I'm sure you've seen. Because Lord knows I've seen it firsthand.
Hey, it took me, Shawn. It took me about 6 games to decide to come back to Bears DIY meeting because nobody told me it's a cutthroat business out here. But hey, man, we back. The people call for it, Shawn. It wasn't me. I had people DMing me, and they were like, "Coach, you changed how I watch football because you break down the schematics and stuff." And after hearing that 2 or 3 times, man, I'm like, man, look, let me refocus, man, and let me go and make sure I'm having fun, and doing it for the right reasons, right? So, like you said, man, you're always welcome on the program. I love your perspective you have on the show. Do me a favor if y'all out there, man. If you're watching this on the playback, man, run the likes up, subscribe to the channel, man. This is Chicago Bears 360 with Coach T. Listen, we separate ourselves, man. We break down the schematics. I know I didn't do a Coach T's playbook this week, but we're gonna do it next week. I'm gonna take a break. We're gonna come back to breaking down the film next week. This is my guy Shawn Sierra, the super back for Coach T. Thank y'all for joining the program and bear down.